All right, welcome to the start of week 28, December 15th to December 21st. And this is my second week in a row that I did absolutely nothing. So I did make money. I made money, truly passively, because I didn't lift a finger to do it, but not enough to even feed my family like one meal. So nothing to brag about at all. And in fact, I do have some thoughts about this that I'm going to share after I go through the stats. But it is almost Christmas time. We're like 3 days away from Christmas. So you know what? I'm taking a break. Next week I'm doing nothing, and then I'll get back into it after that. Let's go to the stats because I think updates are important even when you did absolutely nothing because it's a record, right? It's a like historical archive of what happened. And check this out. So I still got 422 visits, 18 orders, 4.3% conversion rate for a revenue of $58.27. But I went to one of my listings and I was like, okay, what is the actual dollar amount that I made? And I'll show you here. So right here, I list them at $248. I run a 60% off sale, so the total revenue is 99 cents, which is peanuts. Listing fees are 20 cents. Transaction fee is 6 cents. Payment processing fee is 28 cents. Like what? Why? Why? Okay, I'm so annoyed with Etsy. Like you have a transaction fee and then you have a payment processing fee. Isn't that the same thing? But why not just call it the same thing? 54 cents in fees. So I made a grand total of 54 cents per sale. Or sorry, 45 cents per sale. Not 54. 54. It cost me more to sell it than I get. But still, my net profit margin is 45.45%. So let's pull out the calculator and watch these amazing numbers that are going to go before your eyes. $26.50, truly passively. So, I mean, yeah, I did nothing to do it to make that money this week or even last week. But still, that, if I divide that by 10, or sorry, by 7, $3.78 profit per day doing nothing, like just letting it float. But that is pathetic. So if I do that for a year, I'll get up to $1,379.70 profit. That's pathetic. I'm sorry, but one thing I noticed about Etsy in general is even when I was on it big time before, back in 2016, and then reviving it this year, is the numbers that people make are tiny compared to what is available. There are a few exceptions, and you do want to get to the exception level where there are shops making a boatload of money. But I would say the bulk of people who are on Etsy are making peanuts, and they seem to be happy with it. I even I posted a screenshot of my shop in an Etsy group, and because I was really disappointed with the results. And I have like, well, let's go to the all-time stats. I'll show you what I posted. So all-time, I have this, right? So $2,465, 7.2% conversion rate, 1,521 orders. And I posted that in a group, a big Etsy group. And I got trashed. Like, people were nasty. They're like, oh my God, I would kill for that many sales. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe you're complaining. Oh my God, are you trolling us? I'm like, what is happening? This is awful. Like, this is terrible. This is depressing. And people are like, oh no, that's so good. You're doing so well. I mean, are we at the point now where Etsy is just known for not making anybody any money, except maybe the top like 2% of shops? Like, I that's fine. I'll get to the top 2% of shops over time. But between here and there, holy cow, it is depressing. Like, looking at these stats, you can't live on that. There's no way. Even, like, no way. You can't. You just can't. It's not possible. So let's go to my marketing. Let's go to Etsy ads just to show you that I turned them off. Like, legit. Turn them off. So 15, 21, apply, 0. I'm not running ads at all. I'm just, the shop that I'm running, nobody's going to buy anything between now and Christmas, and maybe even a little after Christmas. So there's no point in running the ads. The other thing that I found is so I'm going to put this in. Etsy sellers have weird number happiness, I guess. I saw another seller bragging about 100,000 revenue. On a print-on-demand shop for the year. He took home probably, I'm going to say 20% at the high end after base costs and marketing and fees and before tax. So that's 20,000 for a year. If you take that, divide that by monthly, again, you're not going to be shocked at this. Well, maybe you will be. Or sorry, divided by 12. That's it. That's it. And the guy was bragging about this. He was bragging about making that per month. What is happening? These are horrible numbers. Like, and this guy has a YouTube channel with like a whole ton of subscribers, and he's bragging about his shop doing 100,000 revenue last year in the past 12 months. And I'm like, I'm not snotty, I'm realistic, and I'm not putting down anybody who's struggling. I'm struggling with my shop too, because for reasons beyond my control, and not just the Etsy downturn, but another thing happened in that specific niche that just crushed my sales and my spirit, to be honest. But that is pathetic. And this guy is selling like training and everything on how to do Etsy and how to run it and how to make it work. But he's not being realistic in what he's promising in his training either. Like, he's promising big bucks. So if you're going to promise big bucks and not deliver big bucks, you suck. If you're going to do training, you have to be honest with people and say, look, I'll teach you how to do it. But I mean, 98% of people are going to make peanuts. 2% are going to kick butt. If you can get to the 2%, that's awesome. But 2% is a pretty small number. That's 2 out of every 100 people. One out of every 50 on Etsy are making serious money. That's, I mean, it does exist too in the print-on-demand world outside of Etsy, like Shopify and WooCommerce and all that stuff, or going direct to platforms, which we used to be able to do. Now we can't do that anymore. But the majority of people who want to get into the business, they just don't make anything. And sometimes it's a lack of effort. Sometimes it's a lack of creativity or a lack of discipline or a lack of focus. Sometimes it's just things beyond their control. Like, I have a guy in one of my group coaching programs. He's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. And he's making diddly squat on Etsy. And it's not his fault. They're just not delivering like they used to. So, I don't know. I'm very discouraged with Etsy. I do believe long term it will still work. I do take this as a challenge personally to get to the top 2% of Etsy shops, which I'm going to do, which is why I'm not stopping these updates. So I'm going to update you whether I did something or whether I did nothing, because that's just part of the process. And there are times too where you're allowed to take a week off. You're allowed to take some time off, which leads me to another kind of weird thing on Etsy. If you go into groups, they're always like, you have to consistently be in your shop working on it. Every day you have to put up some kind of listings, or you have to do something, or you won't get sales. I'm like, what other business in the world do you have to do something every day in it? And not many. I mean, you got to show up. But there are guys that, like, even brick and mortar businesses, they have down days. They go on vacation. They don't do something with their business for, like, take a break. It happens. But it seems like Etsy, oh man. Etsy sellers and Etsy groups, some of them are just nasty people. Like, after I made that post and I was legit discouraged and I just got raked over the coals, I'm like, I have a thick skin too after doing this for so long online. And I was like, man, you guys are gigantic bees. Like, holy crap. But I think people are just angry because they're being sold one thing and it's not happening. And now they're being sold one thing that's not happening, and it just, I've always said it takes a long time to get going on Etsy. It's an easy platform to get going on, but you're really not going to make anything in the first 6 months to 12 months. You're going to spend all your time working on your shop, making listings, and doing SEO and whatever else you want to do. You can run ads, but you're not going to make much at all. You have to be on there for like a long time in order to make anything. And I did run in one of my last challenges in my group coaching program. We did this little thing. Well, actually, I'll show it to you right now. Let me pull it up here because I thought it was pretty cool. And I've been trying to like do it for there it is. So what I did is I found 6 shops, and these are clip art shops, and I took the shop age, and then on December 7th I noted down their sales. I was supposed to do it on the 14th, but I forgot. And then just yesterday I put their sales down again, and this column is the change. So if you notice this, this particular one is 6 months old, and they had 252 sales in 2 weeks. This one is 7 months old, and they had 87 sales in 2 weeks. This one is super old, almost 9 years old, and they had 100,000 sales, or sorry, 1,000 sales in 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. This one, they had 201 sales. She does everything like hand drawn, I think. Now this shop, which I thought was kind of neat, is almost 13 years old, and they did 467 sales in 2 weeks. This shop, this is the big dog, Heather Roberts Art. She's almost 4 years old. She had 899,170 sales, but then here it was up to 910,709. So she actually sold, I don't know how she did it, but 11,539 sales in 2 weeks. That is crazy. That's where I want to be, right there. Now, she's only selling things for like $1 as well. So if you take that and figure out, it's probably about 45% profit margin, same as me, because I'm selling at 99 cents. So 11,539 times 0.4545, that's good for a 2-week run. So multiply that by 2, that's your monthly, 10,488. And then if you multiply that by 12, that's decent. So she is about 3 years old, doing 125,000 a year, approximately. That's a guesstimate. That is where I want to be. But the only thing holding me back is this right here, this column. Because my shop age is now like 6.5 months. And I'm not doing quite 252 sales in 2 weeks, but I'm doing about a little over 100. So I'm actually beating this other 7-month-old shop. So what I might do is actually update this more for you guys in my weekly updates here on the Etsy AI Digital Challenge, because these shops that you can go to, they're actually on Etsy. Maybe I'll add some more to it too. This is motivating to me. This is why I keep doing it. And this is why I think you should keep doing it too, because eventually you get there. It's just between the starting point and the getting there point, there's a lot in between that sucks. And it really sucks. So I'm not saying it's dead. I'm not saying you can't ever make money on it. I guess I'm just complaining as usual about the amount of people and negative people that are out there with Etsy, and some of the people who have who are saying like, 20,000 a year or 1,600 a month revenue or net profit is good. And I know some people are going to say you're an a-hole. I'm doing like zero, or I'm losing money. I would love to do even $10 a day or $10 a month, but I'm trying to set realistic expectations. And overall, in the big picture, 100,000 revenue is not really a good shop. It's kind of sad, in my honest opinion. So anyway, maybe I'll update this. Let me know in the comments if you want me to keep this going for you guys who are watching this. And maybe what I'll do is I'll come in next week and I'll update the numbers live, and then we can see what's happening there too, because I'm going to do updates. I'm just not working on my shop over the holidays. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I think it's very motivating. Let me know in the comments if there's any other stores you want me to track, and we'll do that too, because I love this stuff. This kind of thing gets me going, because it just reinforces that, hey, it does work. It just takes time. And there are shops still making money, but these are like, I would say any shop doing like 1,000 sales in 2 weeks, they're in the top 2% in my mind, right? Okay, let me know your thoughts. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you next week.